What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Raymond and some of you might be wondering why make this video when I have this channel focused on content creation and also tech and gear in general. Now, besides education through these particular aspects, there's also another thing that some people don't really take into consideration, which is self-awareness and self-growth. Because I have that need to educate you guys on a few aspects to see that you can really grow as a person, why not make a video on awareness and maybe have a long playlist of that for you to really develop yourself. And that brings us to our main topic for today, which is how far can jokes actually go before it really goes too far. Every day we are amused by the jokes that actually, people make. Well, if you are indifferent or if let's say you are immune to jokes, you do you. I cannot force you to laugh at a joke. But behind all the funny dad jokes, dirty jokes, whatever jokes that you might fancy, there are sometimes situations where some things cannot be made fun of. Hence why I'm making this video. Because sometimes jokes or anything that you say or do post online can weigh more than just words and numbers. Now, let me explain. During this pandemic, we have seen the number of cases rise in Malaysia. Some of you might have known that in the earlier stages of the COVID pandemic, we as Malaysians have handled the cases very well. So Malaysia has had a lot of cases, but it has gradually reduced to 0 cases a day, which was a feat in its own. It was great. It lasted for quite some time until few things happened and the cases risen. So as of today, the 7th of September 2021, the total number of new cases today is 18,547 COVID positive cases. Well, that's a very big number and it's an alarming one, to be honest. Because the number of cases keep on rising, it means the number of people who are affected are also rising. And that's on a daily basis. It's not 20,000 cases throughout the entire year. It's basically 20,000 cases a day. And you will never know if tomorrow you would be one of those people listed for the positive cases that happen on the following day. There are so many people being affected by the pandemic, yet somewhere online you would find jokes that are quite insensitive, and it really is offensive in my opinion. I've noticed this type of trend happening even way back then. And because of that, I noticed this and I just, observed. I didn't really do much. And I have to admit, sometimes even I myself posted these types of jokes. But I have come to a realization that it is not really correct, and I've actually refrained myself from intentionally doing it anyway. However, when Malaysia actually hit the 20,000 case that line, when we actually were thinking wow, if we were to hit 20,000 cases a day, wouldn't that be that bad? Wouldn't it be really bad? Well, yeah, there was a time not long ago Malaysia actually hit 20,000+ cases a day. And to me, that was alarming. Very alarming. Yet, some people actually posted jokes online, satire to be very honest, and it wasn't really a pleasant one. Some people were entertained by it. Some people were outraged by it. And what I decided to do was, on that day when we received that news, for a few hours until near midnight, I posted this on my WhatsApp status. Well, I posted this and immediately and not long after, I actually got a few responses. And there are 3 categories. The first category is, dead silence, no one said anything. The second type would be the ones who are entertained by it. They felt it was funny, they actually laughed at it, they shared it. And the third group is, to me, where I feel most touched and where I feel most at home. In a sense, it's how I feel as well, which is outraged by the fact that this can be made into a joke when those numbers actually mean how many people are being affected by the pandemic on that particular day. Imagine if one of those 20,000 people were you and me. How would we feel? How would we think? What will happen to us? Well, I do not have to say much for you as a Malaysian or anyone around the world if you have known people or if you yourself are actually affected. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. So I decided to actually carry forward this particular experiment on a few other platforms, mainly TikTok, Instagram Reels, and also YouTube Shorts. And the new series will be called Minute Content, where I will share tips and tricks for anything within 1 minute. But another thing is, well, giving out these types of videos in terms of having people to engage with that content, to see what you guys think, and I will use what you have as feedback to actually shed some light, not using you guys as an argument, but using opinions to enable discussion. That is it. So I went ahead to post this video. It's going to be linked down in the description below. And on Instagram, I actually got quite a number of replies, and I'm going to read out a few. So the first particular reply that I'm actually quite happy that it came out was, in my humble opinion, I felt sad when I read the joke. It seemed like people are not taking COVID as a serious thing. The cases are rising dramatically, the number of deaths too. But that joke, maybe the person is pasrah. Pasrah basically means they are already like they gave up. So be like 20k road to 30k cases in Malaysia a day. But yeah, stay safe everyone. To me, that is actually quite a good thing to say, because when it's to the point you are already like, you've given up with the number of cases keep rising. When the number of cases keep on just rising every day, even after you're just staying at home, you can't help but wonder, then what's the point of staying at home? Well, I understand your argument, but it is safer to stay at home. I mean, that's my advice to you. So what she said is actually quite nice. It's a good observation. And I'm pretty sure that some of you can agree as well. So another person replied saying that, well, the citizens have once fought with the pandemic real hard with the result of 0 cases consecutively. However, as the time goes by, the government system and some citizens' ignorance have contributed to the rise of cases, causing loss of lives and others' financial supports. So from my point of view, this post consists non-humor but full of satire, specifically for those ignorant and selfish, which I think is very self-explanatory. It also shows the feeling of sadness for those who has contributed in fighting COVID, especially the frontliners. Their sacrifices have been taken for granted and parasited. Basically, I think you have used the wrong emoji. It should have been the smirking face instead of the laughing face. He even continued with his part of the reply where, when jokes are brought into context, aka satire, it will be always not too far unless it involves certain aspects, specifically personal attack, irrelevant justifications, dragging in the person's family and friends unnecessarily. After all, as free as we can speak, there is still limitations for our actions, isn't it? So that's what he actually provided. To me, the second part of his comment was the best example of how a person can actually understand this context, because jokes are not wrong. It's not wrong for you to make fun of things. However, not every single thing is worth or even suitable to be made fun of. That's literally it. If you offend people, then by all means you have offended someone. You can't run away from that fact. These are the replies that I've got from my experiment, and these are public comments. I mean, don't just take my word for it. Here are some opinions from a few of the people that I have known, and maybe they can help me shed some light into this particular issue for today. There are two people. I hope that they can actually help you with this. Have a look.
Hey, what's up guys? Well, first of all, thank you Raymond for having me in your video. But first of all, when I saw your post the other day on WhatsApp status, the first thing that came into my mind was, what the f***, Raymond? But then when I got to know that it's just a social experiment, I feel much better. Well, to be honest, this is not the first time I saw someone posting road to 20k, 30k, 15k. It's always there, it's always on Twitter, it's always on WhatsApp, and people have been laughing about it. But when you posted yours, I was deeply affected by your post, because at that time, my family was affected by COVID-19. The people who is living in my house, some of them are affected by the virus, and I was really offended with what you posted, which is saying that it's road to 30k, can we make it? It's as if it's a celebration. And I was really sad to see what you posted. And this is the highlight here, COVID-19 has affected a lot of people in this nation, and a lot of people make it as a joke just because they do not understand what it feels like to be affected, or you have your family members affected. Some people even lost their parents, their brothers, their sisters, and there are some people out there who is thinking this is a holiday. You stay at home, you count until how high it can get. But some people like me, we want we just want things to be better for our nation, for ourselves, and we do not want to lose anyone that we love. And to see someone posting it like that really hurts. And I really don't understand the use or the need to do some jokes that is related to COVID-19. So I guess that's my opinion on this matter. But I understand what you're trying to do is a social experiment to see if people care. And I guess you have your answer now. People do care, especially if they're affected directly or indirectly with the virus. That's all from me, Raymond. Thank you so much, and I hope that you guys enjoyed.
Hi, my name is Jess, and today I will be talking about the insensitive use and overuse of satirical jokes or offensive jokes that are happening in our social circles, especially during this COVID-19 / pandemic era. So to some of you who might not know what satirical jokes are being circulated around the internet or around your friends, around your social circles, that uses serious affairs to be presented in a much hilarious way, and somehow it promotes the insensitivity, which neglects people's feelings and people's current situation for those who got infected with the COVID-19 cases. And to some of you who might overlooked this issue, we might see in our social circles, we might see in our friends posting road to 20k, road to 30k, referring to the number of COVID-19 cases which are inclining daily. So I have personally experienced this. I have been making these jokes myself for the past few weeks back. And previously when I made these jokes, I was not aware of people's situation. However, when my own family member got infected with those diseases, with the COVID-19 virus, and I actually heard my mom calling every single one of her friends and their colleagues, my parents' colleagues, and they were talking and they were crying, and somehow it triggers a sense of realization, and it really sparked an epiphany in my soul and in my heart that what if I actually got to infect what if I actually got infected with the disease, and people have been treating it as a hilarious way without actually seeing it as a serious affair, a serious issue. And that made me realize how insensitive we actually are in using satirical jokes, which we promote that as a negligence in our social circles, in our own, in our development of mentality. So I implore every single one of you to think what you post before posting, to think of the consequences, and to actually reflect on what you need to say about something before posting it. As I believe that a lot of my friends are intelligent, and a lot of my friends needed that guidance and probably needed that reminder that not everything must be treated as a joke, and not everything must be treated, in a hilarious way. So at times, if things are needed to be serious, you must act professional in a way that you must realize that this issue is a serious affair. So thank you for watching, and yeah.
So like I said, because of this particular pandemic, people have lost their jobs, their homes, their family, even lost lives, or even to the point where they have nothing else to lose. Yet some people still make jokes about this, and they really feel like they've done nothing wrong. That's alarming to me, and that's actually very worrying, because some people can't take it. They are mentally broken, physically broken, and these things break them down even more. You need to actually have some courtesy for those around you, because you may have a proper life, you may be living off better than them, but that doesn't give you the privilege and the status of, being able to do things like this while others suffer below you. That's not really a good thing to do. Vaccinated or not, we have the responsibility to actually have that courtesy to help others during this pandemic. Trying times like these actually challenge us, not only through our daily aspects of life, but to see how far we can actually go to take care of ourselves and also to take care of other people. You may not feel it now, but don't wait for a day when it's too late, when you're affected by the pandemic very harshly, and when you're actually affected in a sense by the virus, when you're infected. Then only you would feel the irony of what you have done. That's not really the good thing. Don't wait for punishment. Instead, take your time to help people. Help those around you. Take care of those around you. Do the best that you can to actually help, because trying times like these need people to support each other. That is why in Malaysia we have hashtag Kita Jaga Kita. We want that awareness to be spread all across Malaysia and maybe even around the world if we can, to take care of people in our society. You do not want to feel the irony and start being haunted by what you have done to the point you feel remorse and regret, because obviously if you have some sense, you would know what I'm trying to say. Take my advice. Have some courtesy. Think about other people. Don't simply put out anything online or even face to face if you do not know what you're putting out can actually affect people, hurt people. That's not really a good thing to do. So the bottom line is, for jokes, how far is too far? Now here's the thing. Jokes that do not apply anything either literally or subconsciously or even through the implied meaning, that's fine, as long as it's a joke that makes fun of a certain situation or scenario and it doesn't really affect people, that would be fine. However, when satire like this is placed in this particular context, then it's actually very wrong, because what you say weighs more than just words and numbers. Remember that. Well, I think that is actually enough from me. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and actually learned something from it. Don't forget to share this video and also go ahead and subscribe to my friend Dhiv, because he himself is also a YouTuber who constantly has topics to discuss on his social media and also his YouTube channel. So go ahead, follow him on his social media, and don't forget to follow Jazz on his YouTube channel and social media as well. Obviously, me being old and forgetful has forgotten to mention that while I was recording the video. However, yeah, make sure you follow him as well. Now back to the main video. All of it will be down in the description below. All the links will be there. So once again, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. And as always, enjoy creating your content.